ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you, friend. Thanks a lot. Welcome to our show, To Tell the Truth. Our first guest today is a member of a most musical family. Perhaps I should say the most musical family, if we are speaking in terms of amateur family groups here in America. We will meet the mother of this group later on, hear a performance by the entire family, after we meet our entire panel, hopefully, here on To Tell the Truth.
Bill Collins. Kitty Carlisle. Joe Garagiola. And Peggy Cass.
Well, we are ready for almost anything that happens today, all poised, eager on the edge of their chairs, ready for the attack. Are the winking and blinking and nod of the game show set, Cass, Cullen, and Carlisle, and then we have a very nifty person with us. His name is Joe Garagiola.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Couldn't have done it without my teammates.
You've been avoiding us, Joe. How come this is the only show you haven't been on?
Well, they've been asking me, and I'm gonna have a better attendance record. I'm really gonna try harder.
All right, we'll give you a gold star if
too.
you'll come back 10 more times this season.
Okay, I will.
All right. Now let us meet our musical mother.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Sylvia Cunningham.
Number 2.
My name is Sylvia Cunningham.
Number 3.
My name is Sylvia Cunningham.
And you know how the game is played. Only one of them truly is Sylvia Cunningham. The other two are imposters. Let's listen to the story. It says, I, Sylvia Cunningham, am the mother in the family that was co-winner of the Amateur Musical Family of the Year Award. This citation is not for performance standards, but rather for the way in which a family uses music within its own community. In our case, for example, my husband and I threw an annual lawn party in which chamber music is stressed. 6 of us play stringed instruments, and most of us play other instruments as well. My family enjoys music immensely. Undeniably, our music has brought us closer together. If you're curious as to what kind of sound we make, please don't go away, because after the questioning is over, the musical Cunninghams will perform for you. Signed, Sylvia Cunningham. And we'll be back to find out more about this as soon as our sponsors tell you about them right now. We have from us just across the way 3 ladies, all claiming to be Sylvia Cunningham, the mother of a family that was co-winner of the Amateur Musical Family of the Year Award. And let's start with the highly musical Miss Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 1, are you a music teacher?
I am, yes.
What do you teach?
I teach all instruments. I'm a pianist.
And number 2, it looks like an unusual combination. If I'm not wrong, it's 2 violins, 2 cellos, two violas, a cello, and a trumpet.
That's right. Does that sound unusual?
Well, it does. Number 3, whose chamber music do you play with this combination?
Well, you adjust music from an early period, like Bach's music, for instance.
Do you do any Mozart?
Yes.
Number 1, how many people in your family who play?
All of us play.
How many are you?
5 children, my husband and myself.
And number 2, how old is the youngest?
4 years old.
And what does the youngest one play?
He plays cello.
At 4?
Yes.
Number 3, do you have to have a special cello made for him?
Well, they're all size cellos. You use the smallest one.
And where do you get it?
Oh, thank you, Kitty. We're going to go to Joe Garagiola.
This Musical Family of the Year Award, number 2, who awards this?
Well, it's awarded by the American Music Conference of America.
Number 1, how do they award it? Do you have to audition for them, or do they hear about you?
Well, they hear about family groups. They're trying to encourage that sort of thing.
Number 3, where is your community? Where do you live?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Cullen's hometown. Oh, he's our big chamber music expert. Number 2, what is your husband's name?
My husband's name is Jim.
That's a big help.
Yeah.
It's just the way she said it, Peggy. My husband's name is, maybe number 1 is
Her
different.
husband's name is Wolfgang Amadeus Cunningham.
You're terrible.
Oh, she's all right. We got a buzzer. We're going to go right to her, Peggy.
Thank you. Number 1, what was the prize?
It was an award plaque and also a trip down to New York to hear the Riverside Ensemble play at Alice Tully Hall.
Thank you. Now, number 1, where do you live?
I live in Wappingers Falls, New York.
And number 2, where do you live?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, now, number 3, what is the difference between a viola and a viola da gamba?
Well, a viola da gamba is an older instrument.
Thank you. Number 1, what kind of music did Vivaldi write? What period would you put him in?
In the Baroque period.
Thank you. Number 2, did Purcell write chamber music?
Definitely.
Thank you. Number 1, number 3, are you from a musical family? I mean, how come you got all, you're absolutely a musical nuts. Did your mother and father?
You mean my childhood?
Since your mother and father were interested in music as well, then?
No.
Oh, well, did your husband convert you to music, or did you already?
No, I learned it in the schools.
Thank you. Number 1, why is it called chamber music?
Oh, we got a buzzer just at the wrong time, in my opinion. But however, we're going down to Bill Cullen.
Number 3, I like the question, why is it called chamber music?
Well, it's because it was meant to be played in a room, a small room. A few players.
Number 1, does the name in music Schillinger mean anything at all to you?
No.
Number 2, what town are you from? I wanted to...
Buffalo, New York.
Where do you perform mostly when you perform in public?
Well, we perform in North Tonawanda and Niagara Falls and all the neighboring areas.
Now, number 3, I spent a great many years in Pittsburgh, more than and I never heard chamber music there. I guess it had to do with the circle I moved in, but... Thank you. Where, number 3, do you play your chamber music in Pittsburgh?
Well, you can play in church groups, for instance, and neighborhood groups and friends.
Do you...
Oh, my. We got ourselves a musical bell just then, friends. And when that happens, that means no more questions. It is balloting time. So mark your ballots, if you will, for number 1, or number 2, or number 3. The rules say that we pay them $50 for each wrong vote. We pay the group $500 in case of a total stump. And Kitty starts, please.
I voted for Miss Pittsburgh because she made me feel as though I was rather foolish not to know that cellos come in all different sizes.
All right, and so we've got a 3 going there, and we're going to go to Joe Garagiola.
I voted for number 3 also. Number 2 said, my husband's name is Jim. I just didn't believe you, number 2.
A pair of 3 showing, and Peg.
Odd man out. If I was going to go to a lawn party, I would rather go to a lawn party in Wappingers Falls than Buffalo or Pittsburgh, so I voted for number 1. The lawns are a lot bigger in Wappinger Falls.
If you're from Wappinger Falls, it can't be all bad. It figures. We got a 1 and a pair of 3s, and Bill Cullen.
I was roaring in to number 1. I was going strongly in her direction until Schillinger, a name that I think most music teachers would know about because of the Schillinger system, which left me... I voted for number 3, for the Monongahela, Allegheny, and the Ohio.
All right, and Peggy is out there all by herself. She may be a big winner, maybe a big loser. We're going to find out. The votes are all in. Will the real Sylvia Cunningham please stand up?
My gosh.
Well, we didn't have as much luck as I hoped we were going to have. Mrs. Cunningham, if you'll go backstage and join your family, we'll have the luck of hearing you play together while I find out who our friends are. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Debbie Salama, and I teach school at PS 199 in Manhattan.
And staying with number 1 for just a half a second, are you indeed from Wappinger Falls?
Yes, I do have a home there, and we do have lawns, too.
I read about Wappinger Falls, but I never was sure about whether it was a made-up place or not.
No, it's south of Poughkeepsie.
Well, nice to have you here. Let's find out about number 2. Number 2, what is your...
Mary McCoy, and I write a gossip column called Manhattan Murals.
Yes, indeed you do.
And we have lawns in Buffalo.
Well, we now have the Cunninghams on stage in full flower, and Mrs. Cunningham is on the violin, and her husband, James, will be playing the trumpet. And can we get a picture of Jim there playing the trumpet? I guess we, yeah, there he is over there. And in order of descending ages, we have Thomas, who plays the viola. That's Thomas there. And also on viola is Brian. And on piano, we have Susan. And Karen is going to work on a violin. And last, Stephen, who will be playing the cello. And their selection is Albinoni's Sonata in C. Thank you very much, Cunningham's all. And thank you very much, imposters, too, for being with us here on To Tell the Truth. Take care of yourself. Well, now, just about everybody is worried about the fuel situation, and should be. Not only the shortage, but the rising cost of gasoline. Now, we have a fellow who claims that he has one answer to the whole problem. He actually can make and does make his own fuel. And you'll never guess what he makes it out of.
Yeah.
Hang around. It's kind of interesting. Just before the show, I was chatting with two of the young members of the Cunningham family, the two who play the V-I-O-L-A. And I said, which is the preferred pronunciation, viola or viola? And absolutely simultaneously, one said viola, the other one said viola. So I don't really know. Buy a cello. See you later.
Our central characters today will receive the couple's gift by cross, 14-karat gold-filled writing instruments for him and her, plus a leather pen purse for her, attractively gift package. Promotional consideration provided by Best Western Motels, the nation's largest chain with 1,250 fine owner-operators in motels in 900 cities throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico. This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.